Computer science videos here today to show you guys in tutorial 18 of programming in HTML5, HTML colors. Without further ado, let us start the video. So the first thing we need to do is go all the way down to the doc, click on Finder, make sure we are in the Documents folder, go to HTML5, double click, right click on Index.htm, and then open with the text edit. And now we can close out to Finder, go to the Index.htm text edit file, and now we can increase the size of this, and then Command plus to increase the font size. And now we can highlight the previous tutorial's code, right click, cut, and then open up the Word document, which is on the right hand side of your screen. Double click. We can scroll all the way down to the bottom and then paste, and now we can save, Command S, and then close out to the Word document. And now we can, for this tutorial, move on to HTML colors. So we know HTML colors are specified using the predefined color names, or RGB, HEX, HSL, RGBA, HSLA values. In HTML, a color can be specified by using a color name. For instance, tomato, orange, gray, violet, light gray, etc. And so you can set the background color for HTML elements. So if I go to the text edit and now type in H1 style equals speech marks the background color colon Dodger blue, and then the semicolon greater than sign, and now we can say hello world less than slash H1 greater than, and now we can Command S to save, and then go all the way down to the doc, click on Finder, Documents, HTML5, double click, and then right click on Index.htm, open with Safari. If I move the web browser to the side, and now we can close out to Finder, adjust the text edit file and the web browser, and now we know what is really happening and why the background did not turn blue. That's because color needs to be spelled the American way. So that's a typo. Command S, and now we can right click, reload the page, and now we have a background color for the text hello world. We can now copy this line of code, highlight, copy, move on to the next line, Command V to paste, and then change Dodger blue to tomato, Command S to save, and then go to the web browser, right click, reload the page, hello world, with a background color of tomato. And now we can move on to text color. So go back to the text edit file and then enter to move on to the next line, less than H1 style equals speech marks color colon tomato semicolon greater than hello world less than slash H1 greater than, Command S to save, and then go to the web browser, right click, reload the page, and now we have hello world in text color tomato. We can go back to the text edit file, highlight this line of code with color tomato, right click, copy, and then paste on a new line and change the color tomato to Dodger blue. Command S to save, go back to the web browser, right click, reload the page, hello world in Dodger blue. We can also change the border color. So if we move on to the next line and type in H1 style equals speech marks and then border colon 2px 2 pixels solid tomato, and then with a semicolon greater than hello world less than slash H1 greater than, Command S to save, go to the web browser, right click, reload the page, and now we have hello world with a border of tomato. We can also go back to the text edit, right click after we have highlighted the border code, and then copy, move to the next line, Command V to paste, change tomato to Dodger Blue. Command V to paste, Command S to save. Go to the web browser, right click, reload the page. Hello world with a border of Dodger Blue. We can now move on to color values. In HTML, colors can be specified using RGB values, HEX values, HSL values, RGBA values, and HSLA values. Same as the color tomato. So we can now go back to the text edit and type in less than H1 style equals speech marks background color. If I go back to the top line, right click, copy after highlighting, and then paste background color, a colon, RGB, and then parentheses, 255, comma, 99, comma again, 71, and then we need a semicolon, speech marks, and then greater than. The numbers in parentheses again, so I can highlight, copy, and then RGB, paste, and then less than /H1, greater than, Command S to save. Go to the web browser, right click, reload the page, and now we have RGB 2559171 with a background color of tomato. It's the same as the tomato. And so in HTML, a color can be specified as an RGB value using the formula RGB red, green, blue. Each parameter, red, green, blue, defines the intensity of the color between 0 and 255. For example, RGB 25500 is displayed as red because red is set to its highest value, which is 255, and the others are all set to 0. To display black, set all the color parameters to 0, like RGB 000. To display white, set all the color parameters to 255, like this, RGB 255 3 times. And then we can keep experimenting by mixing the RGB values to determine different color codes. So if we now move on to the hex value, in HTML, a color can be specified using a hexadecimal value in the form of hashtag $R, and $B, where RR red and GG green and BB blue are hexadecimal values between 00 and FF, same as decimal 0 to 255. For example, hashtag FF quadruple 0 is displayed as red because red is set to the highest value, FF, and the others are set to the lowest value with 00. So we can go back to the text edit file and type in less than H1 style equals the background color. So we can just go back to the previous line of code, highlight and copy, and then speech marks, paste the background color, colon, hashtag alternative and 3 FF 6347, and then semicolon, speech marks, greater than. Take this value again, highlight, copy and paste, and then less than /H1, greater than, Command S to save. Go back to the web browser, right click, reload the page, and now we have FF6347 with the background color of tomato. And now we can move on to the HSL value. In HTML, a color can be specified using the hue, saturation, and lightness HSL in the form of HSL hue, saturation, and lightness. Hue is a degree on the color wheel from 0 to 360. 0 is red, 120 is green, and 240 is blue. Saturation is the percentage value. 0% means a shade of gray, whereas 100% is the full color. Lightness is also a percentage. 0% is black, 50% is neither light or dark, and 100% is white. So if we go back to the text edit file and now type in less than H1 style equals speech marks and then copy the previous line's code of background color, and then paste Command V, colon HSL, parentheses, 9, 100%, 64%, semicolon, speech marks greater than HSL, and now we need the parentheses with the colors, highlight, copy, paste, less than /H1 greater than, Command S to save, go back to the web browser, right click, reload the page, and now we have HSL 9, 100%, 64%, all with the background of tomato. And now we can move on to the RGBA value. RGBA color values are an extension of RGB color values with an alpha channel, which specifies the opacity for a color. An RGB color value is always specified with RGB, parentheses, red, green, blue, alpha. The alpha parameter is a number between 0.0, which is fully transparent, and 1, which is not transparent at all. So if you go back to the text edit file and now type in on the next line, H1 style equals speech marks background color taken from the previous line, and now colon RGBA parentheses 255 comma 99 comma 71 comma 0.5 parentheses semicolon speech marks greater than, and now we can copy RGB with the numbers, highlight, copy, and then paste, and then less than /H1 greater than, Command S to save, go back to the web browser, right click, reload the page, and now we have RGB 255 9971 0.5 with a 50% transparent background compared to the tomato color. And now we can move on to the HSLA value. So we can say the HSLA color values are just an extension of the HSL color values with an alpha challenge, which specifies the opacity for a color. A HSLA color value is specified with HSLA, parentheses, hue, saturation, lightness, and alpha. And we also need to know that the alpha parameter is a number between 0.0, which is fully transparent, and 1, which is not transparent at all. So if we go back to the index.html file and type in less than H1, or we can just go back to the previous lines of code, highlight, copy, and then paste, and now change RGB to HSLA and change the numbers to 9, 100%, 64%, and 0.5, and then take the HSLA with the parentheses and numbers and change the RGB on the right hand side to the same as on the left hand side. And now we can save the text edit file, Command S, and then go back to the web browser, right click, reload the page, and now we have HSLA, the numbers, with a different transparency level of 50%. And so in this tutorial, we came across different HTML colors, names, background colors, text colors, border colors, color values, and also looked at colors which were specified using the RGB values, hex values, HSL values, RGBA values, and HSLA values. We can now close out of Safari, close out of the text edit file after saving. That's it for this video. I'll see you guys in my next tutorial. Thanks for now.